Hi guys, it's Kelly from Nakarada Reads. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be going through my Spring TBR. Now this TBR is going to be primarily fiction. I have done other videos on non-fiction in the past if you are interested, so check out the other videos in my channel. But yeah, so this is going to be primarily fiction. There's a mixture of fantasy, crime, young adult, middle grade, loads of different genres. But I have designed a journal spread all about my Spring TBR, and I thought we'd just talk through it today. So in here is my reading journal. I have shown it a few times on my channel before, but I haven't done a full walkthrough of it yet. I'm waiting for that to be halfway through the year. So if we flip to the right page, here we go. This is my Spring TBR page. I'm really proud of it. I think it looks beautiful and looks so pink. So what we've got here is all the book covers on the side, on the left hand side, and a list of all the books on the right hand side. I'm going to be doing, every time I read a book, I'm going to be ticking it off here, and I'm also going to be writing the rating underneath each of the books. So I have 9 books to talk about today, and I thought we'd just jump straight in. So on the top left we have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This, as much as I know, is a historical fantasy. I'll put up a picture of like the book cover, like enlarge it a bit for you. But this is a historical fantasy. I believe it's the first book in a series, and it follows Emily Wilde, who is a researcher of fairies, which sounds amazing. And she goes to a village and starts to research the fairies around there, and I believe there is a rival named Wendell in it, and I'm hoping for a little bit of romance as well. But that's basically that. I don't know much else about the book, of course, because I haven't read it yet, but I know that it is very well loved and highly rated, so I'm really excited to get started on that one. Then we have a contemporary romance called Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is the first in the series. I believe it is something Blue Ranch, and it is the life of Emmy and Luke. Emmy used to be a horse rider. She moved away from the ranch and got quite popular doing her horse riding, but then there seems to be an injury that took place, which meant she can't ride horses anymore. So she moves back home, and she hasn't really, I don't think she's told anybody about her injury. So Luke is trying to work out why she came home and things like that, but he's always had a thing for Emmy, and it develops into a romance, I believe. It sounds adorable and I'm here for it. If anything involving cowboys you will learn on this channel is I'm here for. So I'm really excited for that. Next up we have A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn. This is the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series, I believe, and it is a historical mystery involving Veronica and her assistant Stoker. It is set in London in 1887, so there is a lot of historical references and things like that throughout, and I'm here for it. And basically I believe Veronica has a death in her family, which leaves her an orphan, and she goes off travelling and with her assistant Stoker, and they solve murder cases and things like that along the way. It sounds amazing, and I'm very excited to delve into it. I'm getting serious Stalking Jack the Ripper vibes by Kerry Maniscalco, which you'll see later on, and I'm just very, very excited to start that series because I know the fans of that series are very, very dedicated to it. So I'm really excited. Next up, we have 16 Souls by Rosie Talbot. This is a young adult fantasy with protagonist Charlie. Charlie is a seer of spirits, so he is able to see ghosts, and he seems like quite of an isolated, lonely kind of kid. And like it references in the blurb that his only friends are ghosts, which is interesting. And eventually he starts seeing the ghosts disappear, which is very, very unique, and he's never seen that before. So he starts to learn all about reasoning why these ghosts are disappearing. And there seems to be a love interest. It seems to be has LGBT themes, so I am very much here for it. And I'm really, really excited for that one. It seems like a really interesting one, and seems to be for fans of it references that it's fans for Cemetery Boys and things like that. So I'm very, very excited about 16 Souls. The fifth book I want to talk about today is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. Of course, if you know me, you know that I absolutely adore this series. So this is actually a reread for me. I'm going to try and reread the entirety of Kerri Maniscalco's work in 2024. So I'm very, very excited to get started on that one. And if you don't know, it follows Audrey Rhodes Wadsworth as she studies forensic medicine against her family's wishes, because this is set during the time of Jack the Ripper, so women aren't known to be striving for that kind of thing. And throughout the novel, you end up being introduced to a man named Thomas Cresswell, who is basically her right-hand man with solving murder mysteries and things like that. So they go and eventually solve the case of stalking Jack the Ripper, which is very, very cool, and I absolutely adore this series. Highly recommend it for anybody. So yeah, there's that one. The sixth book I want to talk about today is Witchlings by Clarabelle A. Ortega. This is a middle grade fantasy, and it revolves around witches. So we have main character Seven. She is really, really excited because she's 12 years old and she's about to be placed into a coven for the first time. And she really wants to be in a coven with her best friend, and they could be really powerful witches together. But basically what happens is at the end of the ceremony, she doesn't end up being placed in a coven. She ends up being referred to as a spare. And a spare is a very less powerful witch. And it's basically revolving around her trying to navigate being a spare and how to overcome it and still be a powerful witch. And it sounds absolutely adorable. The characters, the illustrations are gorgeous. The characters seem really cute. And I'm really excited to delve into that series. The seventh book I want to talk about is In the Woods by Tana French. So at this current moment in time, I am very deeply invested in crime fiction. If you have any crime fiction recommendations, especially if they're police procedurals, yes, I'm very, very invested in crime fiction right now. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. And this one is the start of the Dublin Police Force series. So we follow Detective Rob, who is also secretly, his first name is Adam, who works in Dublin Police Force to solve a murder mystery. However, when he's been sent to the location, he realises that it is the same location that he had a lot of childhood trauma revolving around this place as a child, and I believe he was found as a child with no memory while his shoes were full of blood. And he basically has to navigate his way through this crime, solve the murder, while also trying to overcome his childhood trauma surrounding his memory loss and what happened as a child. Very, very interesting. I'm super hyped about it. Next up, we have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. I haven't read any of this. Well, I started We Hunt the Flame a few years ago. I couldn't really get my head into it. Wasn't really feeling it, but this one sounds amazing. It's recommended for fans of Stalking Down the River, of Six of Crows by Leah Bardugo, and it is a fantasy. So there's the main character Arfi, who owns a tea room, and on evenings it turns into a bloodhouse for vampires, and there's a lot of competition or something, and she gets involved in that, in the underground of vampires and things like that, and it sounds amazing. I love the idea of a very prestigious tea room turning into a bloodhouse for vampires on the evenings. Like, that sounds amazing, and it just sounds like a really, really fun novel. So I'm looking forward to A Tempest of Tea. I believe it might be turned into a duology. I could be wrong about that, but I did read that on Storygraph. And finally, the last book I want to talk to you about today is Leave No Trace by Jo Callahan. So Leave No Trace is the second book in the DCI Cat Frank series, and it is to be released on the 28th of March. So the unique spin on this crime fiction is that DCS Cat Frank, her partner is AI, and he goes by the name of Aid Locke. And so in this second book in the series, Cat Frank solves a murder involving someone being crucified, which sounds amazing, with the help of Aid Locke, who is her AI. And in the first book, she just set up a crime unit dedicated to using AI and things like that, and it's really, really cool. It's really uniquely made, really unique in the crime fiction world that I've noticed, and I'm just really, really hyped to continue Cat Frank's journey because she's a badass. So that is all of my spring TBR, I believe. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these 9 books. I'll be really, really interested in your reviews and things like that. What one are you most excited for? What's your spring TBR looking like? I'd be really excited to know. But thank you so much for watching. If you watched this video to the end, it really means the world to me. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this content. It keeps my channel going and growing. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye.